And now, from Shenango Valley Studios, coming to you live, one of the most talked about shows in the Shenango Valley, because it's the only show in the Shenango Valley. Your host, Sean Zippi with The Zip Code. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you, Andrew Gary, as always, for that sick track that you came up with. Derek Work, thank you for all that you've done for the show. Appreciate it. To Sheets, thank you to Sheets. Also, thank you to Lem's Shoes, our newest sponsor. Folks, this is not too good to be true. A few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, we tried to get Nick Miller to play some live music on the show. And for some reason, Zuckerberg was shutting us down. The interwebs were just not having it. So without further ado, let's bring this guy on. I think we got a game plan tonight. I'm pumped. Let's see what we got here. Should be good. See what's popping here.
Hey.
Would you look at that, man?
Can you actually hear me this time?
Oh,
wow.
You know,
see me.
I can hear you and I can see you. And this time, everyone's not commenting saying, we can see you both, but for some reason, Sean can't hear Nick, and who knows what the heck's going on.
Yeah. Well, we got
folks, thank you for joining the Zip Code. This is awesome because I'm a graduate of Hickory High School in Penn State. Nick Miller's a graduate of Sharon in Penn State. And this just goes to show you right here that the old days when you're young and you think like, oh, you know what, I'm from Hickory, or oh, I'm from Sharon, blah, blah, blah. You know what? It's out the window.
No. That meant, I mean, you know Warren. Warren was my best friend growing up. I've known him since he was born. I was born 4 months earlier, and I've known him since he was born. There's pictures of us when he's just home from the hospital.
I love that. There is unity in the Shenango Valley, baby.
I cross borders, baby.
All day long, crossing borders. You know, hey, that's not a bad it's not a bad title to something, you know, crossing borders. I like that.
We'll fly a little way. We'll keep it back there for something.
Yeah, for sure. So, folks, thanks for coming on the Zip Code to kick with us a little bit. I mean, hey, this is going to be a very relaxing show. It's going to be a little different. We're just going to talk to Nick a little bit. He's going to talk about some of the songs. We're going to get into a little bit of, you know, how some songs came to be. I'm going to pick his brain about how the heck he started even to write a song, for those of you that are curious about that. You know, maybe after this could be a little song workshop. I might go write some music. You never know.
Whoa. This could be big.
Could be huge. So, folks, you are watching the Zip Code. Also, thank you to Sheets. Let me pull up a Lem's boot here now that they are an official sponsor of the show. Nick, have you ever had any of the Lem's shoes?
I don't know anything about them. Other than what you've posted. That's the only thing. The name sounds familiar, but I'm not familiar.
Yeah, so actually, Andrew Rademacher, he started a shoe company. It was like in 2012, 2013-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And as a matter of fact, he did it out of like his dad's machine shop / warehouse in Farrell.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he moved out to Boulder, Colorado, and now they're doing really well. And so they make great shoes. So
hey,
there you go.
Right on.
Yeah, man. So let's, folks, thanks for joining us. Just sit back, relax. This is going to be just a nice chill episode of the Zip Code. So thanks for tuning in. We got a lot of Shenango Valley people tuning in. A lot of Shenango Valley people watch this later as well. But let's start with this. Nick, you are now in Brooklyn, New York, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Been
and
here
what the
for like almost 4.5 years, roughly.
So what the heck originally took you to Brooklyn, New York?
Everybody that I sort of palled around with in the Valley kind of moved away, save for a couple people. But I had gotten really close with a lot of friends from Penn State when I transferred to the main campus, and they all moved out here. And so it was sort of like, I should do this while I can, you know? Well, I was in early 20s, so I was like, if I don't do this now, I'll never do this. So I might as well give it a go. And it's been mostly pretty good, you know?
Right on, man. And so we'll pick away a little bit during the show here at some certain things, but why don't you start us off with a song? How's that?
All right, sure. I should play one of mine, or I should play a cover, or let's ease people in with something they might know, and then
ease them in.
Hang on, I'm out of tune. Sorry, unprofessional.
And folks, right before he plays, I am going to say this: someday, when COVID simmers down, I don't know if COVID's ever going to be quote unquote over, but I mean, I'd like to say it'd be quote unquote over at some point. But whenever things get back to somewhat normal, I think it would be a good idea for me to just rent out a place. We could have Nick come on, some live music. People are going to be starving for it, man. They're going to be starving for live music, and we got to do it. We got to do a live show, Nick Miller music, and get some other cronies. I don't care who it is, but we'll host a little zip code live performance.
We'll fill out a whole thing.
Yeah.
All right, so here's one people will know. We'll ease them into it. When your baby leaves you all alone and nobody calls you on the phone, well, don't you feel like a crying? Well, don't you feel like crying? Well, here I am, honey. Well, come on, you cry to me. Well, when you're all alone in your lonely room and there's nothing but the smell of her perfume, well, don't you feel like a crying? Well, don't you feel like crying? Well, don't you feel like a cry? Well, come on, cry to me. Well, nothing can be sadder than a glass of wine alone. Loneliness, such a waste of time. Oh yeah, you don't ever have to walk alone. Will you see? Well, come on, take my hand, baby, won't you walk with me? Oh yeah, when you're waiting for a voice to come in the night, when there is no one, well, don't you feel like a crying? Well, don't you feel like crying? Well, don't you feel like a crying? Well, don't you feel like a crying? Well, here I am, baby. Cry to me.
Right on.
That's tough to do. I shouldn't have done that one.
So you go to Brooklyn, New York, and you still have the same job that you first had when you started there?
I had a bunch of money saved up, and I told myself, you have enough. Don't rush into a job. Figure out how to get around the city. Don't stress yourself out. And what that turned into was essentially running out of money after not looking for a job for almost a year, or looking for a few, but kind of not getting them, and sort of just being like, all right, well, something will happen. And then yeah, like just shy of a year living here, I got the job I'm at now, which is just I work in a retail thing, shipping and stuff like that. So we're essential. I've been working the whole time during COVID. We never shut down at all, uh, and it's been real, almost a nightmare, sort of, but not terrible, but kind of terrible.
You know, I think one thing that I respect about you moving to Brooklyn, saying like, hey, like don't rush into something. You know, I think many people when they graduate college, they immediately think, oh my gosh, my life is over. I gotta go work for the man, and I gotta complain
Yeah,
about my job for the next 60 years until I retire.
yeah. Well,
That ain't the way to live, man.
no, I mean, I had a little behind the scenes. I did have money from an insurance settlement, so I was like, I kind of don't have to work for a bit. And then I did move here, and let me tell you, you can run through those savings much faster in Brooklyn than you can in Sharon, Pennsylvania. So in Sharon, I would have been set for a while, and I think I made it less than a year here. So I miscalculated that one. But no, I'm with you. I mean, I'm currently in that spot with my job. I don't enjoy it, but it does pay. It pays rent. It's whatever. But
Right.
I mean, I do this stuff on the side, and this is what it'd be nice if this paid, but uh, we live in 2021. That's not going to happen.
Very true. But I mean, so even before COVID, were you playing with some other people in Brooklyn or in the city, or where were you just playing small gigs?
I'd play here and there. I did take, again, it was a don't rush into it thing. The first original album I put out was all breakup songs, and I was sort of mostly over that by the time I moved here. Um, and I was like, I kind of don't want to keep singing these songs every time I go out. So I sort of like pulled back and like wrote a bunch more songs. And I play here and there. It was never as consistent as I wanted, especially once I got like a full-time job. Kind of takes down when you have energy to go out at night and do that kind of stuff. But I found out actually, for some reason, I was very bookable on comedy shows, which I don't know if anyone is familiar with comedy shows in Brooklyn. In bars, they don't pay anything. So you mostly just go and play for 20 minutes, either before or after. It depends on what the crowd's like. And it's still fun. I mean, it's kind of the thing about Brooklyn that I think people don't know is how big it is. So to get, I don't know, like 3 miles away takes like 40 minutes by train just because the way it's all set up is like, so it's a whole night to not get paid anything, but it's usually fun.
Yeah, folks, we're on with Nick Miller tonight. He's gonna be playing some songs for us. He's gonna be singing, and at the same time, if you have any comments, feel free to put them in there. Feel free to hit I think there's a heart down there you can hit for, you love this so much. You can feel free to go ahead and click that too. But all right, Nick, play us another tune here, man.
All right. I'll play one of mine. Let me see if I remember it. This is a song I wrote. The song I wrote about some friends that got themselves into a whole love triangle that wasn't really a thing, but was just as dramatic. Everyone's in love with you. Everyone's in love with you. It don't matter what you say or do, 'cause everyone's in love with you. Well, when you're not around, all the boys talk about you like you're an angel who's walking on air, and they sit and cry tears into their beards 'cause they think that you just don't care. But you say it's frustrating, no fun, intimidating, and you feel like the pressure is put. They wouldn't get it, no, they wouldn't understand, even if the shoe is on the other foot. Now everyone's in love with you. Everyone's in love with you. It don't matter what you say or do, 'cause everyone's in love with you. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you grab their arms and laugh. The wires crossed, the signal lost. They found a signal where there's not even a draft, and there's time and attention. It can get so exhausting that it feels like it's wearing you down. 'Cause you don't want a lover, just someone to talk to who can always come around. Yeah, everyone's in love with you. Everyone's in love with you. It don't matter what you say or do, 'cause everyone's in love with you. Yeah, everyone's in love with you. Yeah, everyone's in love with you.
Even got a shout out from the Butchie family right there for that song, Nick.
He taught me everything. Yeah. You know, one funny thing about Mr. Butchie is he was my band director, I believe, 8th grade till my senior year. And it was like a couple years into that I realized I started trumpet in 4th grade, and I took lessons up at Mark's Music. And after 1 year, I was like, maybe I want to try another instrument. And I took one saxophone lesson. In the whole 30 minutes, I think I got half a note out of the saxophone. And Doug Butchie was my instructor for that one lesson. I realized it years later, and I thought, man, I wasted 30 minutes of a Saturday for him trying to get sound out of a saxophone. And so then to make up for that, I played trumpet really loud and sloppily in his marching band for a few years.
There you go. Well, hey, the whole Butchie family has some musical talent.
That's right, they do.
And, you know, to bring it a little bit full circle here, too, you know, just with music in the Shenango Valley, you know, Andrew Gary's the one that produced that little intro for me. So, I mean, there's another musical family right there, man. Shout out to the Gary family.
I remember meeting him somewhere, some band-related thing. And I knew his dad was the band director at Hermitage, correct? So I knew that was a Mr. Gary, and I knew that his son was in the band, but I forgot his first name for a while, so I just kept calling him Mr. Gary at it was like a county band thing or something, and I just kept calling him Mr. Gary because I was like, I'm sorry, but I forgot his name.
That's awesome. So he's like 17, 18 years old being called Mr. Gary.
I think when we were in that thing, it was younger than that even. I was calling him Mr. Gary.
That's awesome. Oh, man, that's fabulous. Yeah, so Andrew Gary, who so Steve has two sons, Andrew and Jason. I graduated with Jason, and my brother graduated with Andrew. But Andrew is now one of the band directors at Grove City.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's staying in the area, man.
Nice.
Folks, you're on the zip code right now with Nick Miller. Nick, how many albums do you actually have right now?
I could give you you know what? I have a web page up here. I could give you a count. It kind of varies. So for full albums, there's just 2. And then there's a lot of singles and a couple EPs. all together, though, I believe it's around like 70 songs or so that are up on Bandcamp people could listen to. A couple of them are for charity. I think like 3 of them are all for charity, which is why they won't go on streaming sites, so I can actually make money off it and donate it. But I have one of them benefits the Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Another one goes to my friend wrote a song over the summer, a really insane kind of long 10-minute song that he said, put music to this. And so I was like, all right. It's like, it's supposed to be a Bob Dylan sort of parody thing. And that one, he wanted it to all go to the movement for Black Lives. This was like in the summer when he wrote it, at the height of, we had a lot of, I mean, there were protests here daily. I think they still kind of might be going on actually. But we donated everything from that. And then I did one in October, that went to the Music Cares COVID-19 Relief Fund, which Music Cares is it's an organization that like people who are full-time musicians, maybe, I don't know if you have to be a full-time musician, but basically if you're a musician, they'll help you pay for something. Like a lot of musicians have used it to pay for medical expenses or help pay for like rehab stints. And they have a whole fund specifically for right now because there's no live music or anything. So all the money from that one goes to that charity. But it's a lot of stuff. It's a little daunting to look at my Bandcamp page now that I'm looking at all the stuff that's on there. It is like around 70 or so songs, and most of them are good. Almost.
Hey, I have listened to many of them, and I think I shared this with you last time. But when I was listening to the album No Hard Feelings,
yep,
a couple songs on there when somebody said, hey, what's going on with the zip code tonight? And I shared who it was, and I started playing one of your songs, and I said, yeah, you didn't know that was coming. And he's like, I did not. You know, it's like a lot of those, bop, shooby doo bop. You know, It's like, oh, that hits home, man.
That was the first one that I did. That was the one of all breakup songs where I was trying to like, I can't keep playing these. So I had to write other ones. So there's an album that is called Songs About Girls. It's not just directly about any girls, but it's experience of dating. And that one was like what I wrote in that next time period of like, I think it's 24 songs. There's a lot on that one. There's a lot of stuff. I try to change it up. Lately, it's been a little bit more folky and country leaning than like rock and roll stuff. But I still try to put in loud guitars when I can now and then.
There you go. Hey, you got to keep the people guessing.
Exactly.
All right, let's get another song out of here, and then I got a couple other questions for you.
All right. You know what? I'm going to do the song. That's the one I'm very proud of. This is a song I put out last year on my birthday that all the proceeds go to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It's called Checking In. A couple years ago on Facebook, I saw somebody share this, like one of those copy and paste things that, you know, like if you see this, share it and stuff. And it was this thing that says, I'm doing a brother check-in, showing support for one another. I need 6 men to post, not share this message to show you're always there if someone needs to talk. Pretty sure I know who will. Which is not funny on its own when I read it out loud like that. But the way it was written out, like it just made me laugh so much. I started texting it to friends because it was just like weird capitalized like words and then like dots in the middle. And like, we just thought the syntax of it was funny. But it quickly became a thing that became very like meaningful. Like if anyone was feeling down, you text it to the group. 12 other people are going to copy and paste it right back. And it's like, all right, this feels nice. I've been doing it a lot lately. Personally, it's been quite a couple weeks. So I've been sending that to that group text a lot. But this is the song I wrote based off the Brother Check-In called Checking In. Well, the problem with feeling good all the time, as it's been explained to me, is that you'll never ever want to come back up for air. That's the catch, you see. Because if you ain't breathing, you're surely dying. And if you're dead, someone's surely crying. And if all you ever do is make people feel bad, well, then you might have spent your whole life acting mad. But that's not to say you can't have your happy days. Sometimes we all feel blue. So check in on your loved ones, your family, your friends. Don't make the world about you. Hey, brother. Hey, sister. I'm checking in with you. I'm showing support for everybody and anybody who needs someone to lean on when they just can't see it through. Well, I'm here to talk and I'm checking in with you. Well, sometimes life comes at you fast, like a twister or a downbound train. And if you only ever had the sun without clouds, well, then you'd never get any rain. And if you sit there and wait and the rain don't show, well, the next thing you know, your crops won't grow. No, getting a little gloomy, but don't mean the end, so don't try to hide it from all your friends. Yes, I'm here to tell you, it ain't no sin to admit the way that you're feeling. When you're down for the count, because your chips are gone and the cards that life's a dealing. Hey, brother, hey, sister, I'm checking in with you. I'm showing support for everybody and anybody who needs someone to lean on when they just can't see it through. Well, I'm here to talk and I'm checking in with you. Well, I'm not saying that this will fix everything or turn all your wrongs into rights, but it's sure to bring you just a little bit of comfort if you're having sleepless nights. Like if your job's a bust and it just don't pay, or if you got held up because of train delays, or say the one you love don't love you back, or if they dyed your hair purple when you wanted it black. Well, these things could happen to anyone, anytime, anywhere at all. But if you feel like you're taking it awful hard, don't be afraid to call. Hey, brother, hey, sister, I'm checking in with you. I'm showing support for everybody and anybody who needs someone to lean on when they just can't see it through. Well, I'm here to talk and I'm checking in with you. Well, I'm here to talk and I'm checking in with you. One more time, I'm here to talk and I'm checking in with you. That's checking in. Also, a little side note, when we recorded that in the studio, I got 24 friends or so to come on and sing along on the chorus, so it could be a whole big happy thing. And it was, we did it right before the pandemic hit. And now you look at the video, and I'm pretty sure it's illegal to have that many people next to each other, packed in so tight. We'd have all gone to jail if we tried that this year.
So I have seen that video. That is a fabulous video. Where can people check out that video?
That video is on YouTube. Just look up Nick Miller, checking in. You'll see it from my page. You'll see it from the studio's page where we shot it. We both have it up. I think on mine, I don't know what they did. On mine should have the link to the Bandcamp page in the description. And if you want to buy the song, it's $2. You could pay more, but it's a song. Pay $2. It goes to charity. It goes to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. A fun little song for a good cause.
Right on, right on. So what kind of you know, when you add in that little thing at the end, like like where do you get that from? I personally love it, man.
That is there's a country singer I really like, Roger Miller. No relation to me, but it's like his whole thing is like little fast kind of funny songs. So it's kind of a lot of his stuff is kind of spoken word, like what I just came up with. And he does a lot of that kind of scatting. Like he has a song, one a lot of people would know him for is King of the Road, is a popular one. And he also did the songs in the Disney version of Robin Hood. So the Robin Hood and Little John walking through the forest, laughing back. And that's a Roger Miller song. But he has a song, and I guess I mostly took it from that like starts with a thing like that. And he goes, And then it's spoken words. You're like, well, here I sit high, getting ideas. Ain't nothing but a fool to live like this. Out on that, running wild. Woman sitting home with a month-old child. Dang me, dang me. You gotta take a rope and hang me. High from the highest tree. Woman, would you weep for me? Or like, instead of a guitar solo in songs, it'd be like, you don't seem to care a thing about me. Rather live without me than to have my arms around you when the nights are cold and you're so all alone. In the summertime when all the trees and leaves are green and the red bird sings out for dang. Cause you don't want my love. And he go beep a da beep a do beep a da beep a little down bow da ba ba da ba bow so that was how I ended. That was why I ended checking in with a little Roger Miller. It's a lot of funny stuff. They're all every one of his songs is like the same 3 chords, and it's all spoken word and all like just goofy stuff like that. But it's fantastic stuff. And that was one of the inspirations for checking in general, was just to try to make something a little lighthearted and fun.
Oh, absolutely. And that's exactly where that takes me when I hear that, man. I just think of just listening, you know, in like late in the summer, you know, where you're at some outdoor venue and you're just literally chilling, hanging out. That's it.
Yeah.
You just hear that in the background. That's where that takes me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of the ones I'm most proud of, I think. I mean, I guess I'm proud of a lot of them, but that one is a special one for me.
That's fantastic. Folks, we're on the Zip Code with Nick Miller tonight. You can check him out on Bandcamp. You can check him out on Spotify. And I think as soon as you start to type in Nick Miller, I think you're one of the only ones, Nick Miller, on Spotify, right?
I think there's a couple, but mine should have my picture next to it. If you're on the result, if you're like on the search thing, there should be a little circle with a picture of me. Not this cowboy hat, but one like it, standing by some water, I think. I think that's what the picture is. Well, my dad says can't roller skate in a buffalo herd. Yeah, that's another Roger Miller. Yeah, and Bandcamp is Nick. I don't know if it's a dash or a hyphen, but nick-miller.bandcamp.com. And that will have everything I've put out. Spotify doesn't have everything because you have to pay to put stuff online. And I can't afford to do that for everything. So not all of it. Or I want to retouch it a little. So I have ones I'm working on kind of reworking and making them sound better before they go out to where more people can hear them.
Thank you to Sheets. Thank you to Lem's Shoes. Folks, if you're looking for a comfortable shoe, go out on lemshoes.com. Get yourself a pair. Maybe just put in the comments section, Zip-I sent you, the zip code sent you. So, hey, also,
and if you're looking for anything good to eat, go to Sheets. Go to Sheets. I can't tell you how much I miss Sheets. I'm behind enemy lines here. We are behind Wawa territory in Brooklyn here, and it kills me. That's the closest thing to it, and let me tell you, it's not that good. I don't care for it. I'm a big Sheets. One of my goals, and I really tried to set this up before the pandemic set in. So maybe afterwards when it's safer. I was really trying to set up how can I tour only Sheets locations. And I found out you can put on events. They reached out to me on Twitter when I kept talking about it. And you can do it, but it has to be like for charity, which is not a bad thing, but also to travel around to play only for charity is kind of like, this is maybe not the best move, or else I won't have a ride back. Like I'll have to live at the last Sheets I play. But that's the real goal. Nick Miller Sheets tour, play at all the Sheetses, or get my music played on their playlists, which I've gotten very close to happening a couple of times through some inroads on Twitter, and I got to try to get back on that. But it's a whole thing apparently with like the marketing team, and I don't know.
Well, you know, I don't know how much clout the zip code has, you know, just yet. But, you know, a simple request, you know, can never hurt.
No, it's gotta kick in eventually. Maybe not now, but down the road they'll be like, oh yeah, that time that guy wanted his music played in our gas stations. We should do that.
Hey,
Imagine you're, imagine you're filling up your car with gas and you hear checking in come on. Now that's a good time. I'm biased, but that's a good time.
I mean, honestly, people would be so distracted because they would like the music so much that they probably would just keep filling up their tank and it would just be going all over the parking lot as well,
It's a
which
moneymaker.
it's a
Really.
huge moneymaker. Why wouldn't they do it?
It's a huge moneymaker. You're going to see a surge in people downloading Shazam on their phone to say, what is that song? We're really helping out a lot of people here by doing this.
Yeah, and honestly, while I'm inside and I'm touching the MTO screen there, and I'm getting my sub or I'm getting my schmuffin or whatever I'm getting, there's nothing more that I would rather listen to than some Nick Miller tunes while I'm touching those buttons. I would probably order more too.
You know what? How about I play you the song I tried pitching to them to play on their things? Well, I used to wear the brightest shade of red that I could find. And maybe a splash of orange to match the sunshine in my mind. But that all changed one day after a brief phone call with you. Well, ever since that day, it seems like my favorite color's blue. But since I lost you, my favorite color's blue. It's all I wear anymore. Since I lost you, my favorite color's blue. And that's the teardrops on my face. Well, these days all I see is green, like a vault inside a bank. Just a jealous rage building up in me. I ain't nothing but a crank. Maybe I'll see other colors again if you're ever off my mind. If I'm ever able to shake it off and leave these blues behind. Since I lost you, my favorite color's blue. It's all I wear anymore. Since I lost you, my favorite color's blue. And that's the teardrops on my nose. Then they do guitar solo, so we'll skip that. What is the next verse? I guess I'll just indigo away since I ain't got the nerve to fight. Well, you might say that makes me yellow, and I might say that you're right. I hope that I can live in Technicolor again some later day. But until that happens, it seems like all my skies are gonna be gray. Since I lost you, my favorite color's blue. It's all I wear anymore. Since I lost you, my favorite color's blue. And that's the teardrops on my nose. Since I lost you, my favorite color's blue. It's all I wear anymore. Since I lost you, my favorite color's blue. And that's the teardrops on my floor.
Folks, you will hear that at Sheets someday. I'm calling it right now on the zip code.
It's going to be at Sheets. There's a music video for that one. My roommate, Matt, helped me shoot it. It's a pretty good one. We shot down by the water here near our apartment. And there's also a live version of it I played with my friends. They're in a band called the Hell Yeah Babies, and we did a real rock and roll cover of it. My version's a country song. With them, it's like a very fast rock and roll song. And we also cover Night Moves by Bob Seger in that video. So it's kind of a 2-for-1.
So what you're trying to tell me is Sheets has options, whether they want the country version or the upbeat rock and roll version.
We've still got to record that one officially, but yes, they're going to have options. They're much like made-to-order touchscreen. Sheets is going to have options with Nick Miller's music.
That is fantastic.
If that's not a good pitch, I don't know what is.
I'm not sure. I got nothing better.
I pitched it right over to the plate to them. They got to take that one.
They got to hit the grand slam with that. Folks, you're watching The Zip Code. You're listening to The Zip Code with Nick Miller out of Sharon, Pennsylvania. You know, I first met Nick Miller, and Nick, I don't even know if you're going to remember this. I first met you on a trip in
Wallops Island?
5th or 6th grade at Wallops Island.
6th grade, Wallops Island.
So, folks, there's a group in elementary school and middle school and high school for a lot of people that have high IQs. And before you start thinking, wow, Sean has a high IQ, I don't. But what
I lied
happened
my
was,
way into it.
you what your way into it?
I lied my way into it.
So what happened with me is I took some of my social skills and I befriended the teacher that was taking all these kids on the trip. You know, I kind of worked my way in there. All of a sudden, there's a slot that's open. Hey, Sean, you want to come on the trip? Sure, I'll go on the trip. And there we are.
Wow. I don't know how I think I took the test, and I have a very vague memory of it. For some reason, a trampoline was involved, I think, if I'm thinking of the right day. But I don't know. I also went to, I was in like advanced math classes in 6th grade, and that was definitely a mistake too. So I really lucked into these. The advanced math classes, I think I somehow passed, even though I failed every class, in every math class in high school. I don't know how I did it, but I did it, and no more questions about that. No
more questions about that. Folks, look at us now. We got sheets, we got Lem shoes, we got live music on the Zip Code. What else could you want?
That's it. They knew this would happen. That was they're like, they're gifted. Yes.
Exactly. All right, so yeah, let's play another tune. I got a couple more questions for you. We got about 17 minutes.
All right, let me do another cover. I did post this one on my own Facebook the other day, so if people follow me on there, they've seen it. But here's a Tom Jones song. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. It's not unusual to have fun with anyone. But when I see you hanging about with anyone, it's not unusual to see me cry. Well, when you die. It's not unusual to go out at any time. But when I see you out and about, it's such a crime. I should never want to be loved by anyone. It's not unusual, it happens every day. No matter what you say, you'll find it happens all the time. Love will never do what you want it to. Why can't this crazy love be mine? Oh my God. Oh, that's all I got. I got better the other night. Look at my Facebook for the one that worked. It's not unusual to be mad with anyone. It's not unusual to be sad with anyone. But if I ever find that you've changed at any time, it's not unusual to find out I'm in love with you. Oh, yeah. It's Not Unusual by Tom Jones, which most people know from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, from Carlton doing his little dance.
True. That's a great
song. My dad points out that you and I played YMCA soccer together when we were younger, which, you know what? I do remember that now.
So before Wallops Island, we're looking at, kindergarten, first, second, third grade.
I played 2 non-consecutive years, not to brag. They were non-consecutive, kindergarten and 2nd grade, I think. I took a year off because I was just tired of winning. So I was like, I need a break. I'm a child. I can't keep doing this.
I mean, how many trophies can you keep in your room?
I mean, if you play at the Y, 1 for every season. no matter how well you do.
That's true. I love how nowadays everyone's like, we're not for participation trophies, and then I'm thinking back to my childhood, and I'm like, well, the league that I played in at the YMCA, we
We
had
all got
participation
trophies,
trophies.
and we're fine. It's not a problem. Who cares? Let a kid have a trophy.
I mean, and then you get the trophies, and then all of a sudden, like if you're like me, I put them all in a tub somewhere. You know, I'd still have a little trouble getting rid of those trophies. You know, it's like,
I think I have a
what?
couple. I
I
think I
don't know.
might still have mine. Also, though, the thing about the participation trophies, well, not to get too in on this, but the ones we got, they're not like nice trophies. Like, it's not like they're going out and giving you like the high end thing. You're like, well, you lost, but here's the nicest thing. It's like you pick it up and you're like, this is plastic. This is cheap. Like, who cares? Nobody's like fooled by this. The wood base is nicer than the actual trophy on those things. I
You're
think I still
right.
have mine. I think I might still have mine. I have like awards I won in high school, like music awards, and I still have those. I don't know why, but they're still like, I think they're on display in my room in my parents' house, actually. Which again, why? No one is going into my room, my parents' house, but I'm like, you should see. I played YMCA soccer a couple years.
Well, I think what your parents need to start doing is just whenever somebody comes to the house, they just like kind of flaunt your room. You know, like, hey, by the way, if you want to check
I'll,
out that wall.
I'll tell you the award that they should flaunt. In seventh grade, I played soccer for Sharon Middle School. And again, we all got awards at the end of the season. You know, we had a banquet. People got things like best athlete, fastest or MVP or whatever. And mine was comedy relief. That was the award I got. So that should give you a clue on how good I was at soccer in seventh grade.
Your father even knows it. Comic relief. There it is.
Yeah, he knows it. He
Hey,
knows it.
some other good times is at Penn State where I randomly saw you and I was like, oh, what the heck? You're doing a comedy show? And so I went to
Oh yeah.
the comedy show back in the day at Penn State main campus.
Yep. That was all my friends from that are the ones who moved to Brooklyn. And in college, I was set that that's what I wanted to do. It was like do comedy, write comedy, all that stuff. And so I was like, I got to go there with them. And then I lived back home and I was like, oh, right, I'm better at music. I'm going to just keep doing that. Like, it's more fun. It's more fun for me. I joined comedy in college because I wanted to hang out with those people. And then I tried doing it at a couple of places around the area back home. And I was like, I kind of don't like any of these people and I don't want to hang out with them. And that was the one thing that kept me going in college was I like these people. And I still hang out with some of them. One of my friends, Sean, he's still one of my best friends. He lives 15 blocks from me. We see each other all the time, and even in the pandemic. But yeah, I gave up on that pretty quick. It was fun while it lasted, but I'm better at this than making people laugh on purpose.
Well, well, I think you make people laugh just not on purpose, which is fine.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of a day where, we just go to one of the sheets now in Hermitage, and we just
Yeah.
can do the show from the sheets. It could be like a little late night talk show, where
Yeah.
I can maybe have a guest. We'll just set up outside in the parking lot,
This sounds like
and
a
then
dream.
you have your we get some speakers. I mean, if you have some other participants in a band, that's great. If it's just yourself, that's great. And then we just take over the parking lot. I mean, that's all we need.
That sounds like it. That's the vision for my Sheets tour is just play in the parking lot. Just set up. What are they going to do? Call the cops? Probably. I'll move to the next Sheets.
Yeah, and if you're doing it in Hermitage, all you got to do is stroll down like 2.5 miles down the street.
Yeah, they're going to call the cops on me at 18 by Middlesex. All right, I'll go 18 by up north. That's all right. I'll just
If they're
move
gonna
down the
call
line a little.
if they're gonna call the cops on you, then you keep going. Then all of a sudden you're in
I'll go into
transit.
I'm going to Greenville to that Sheets. I got a whole line worked out. I'll play
Honestly,
at all of them. I just don't think they will want me to. But I'll play there. They might call the cops on me at every single one, but I'm going to play it all of them.
So there's a lot of hot takes on the zip code, but one of the things I'm declaring tonight is Route 18 is the Sheets Mecca of the world.
Oh, 100%. I think the only thing that could compete with it is Interstate 80, but it can't compete with it because those are so spread out.
That's true.
There's a lot on there, but they're very spread out. You're looking at 18 within a 20-minute drive. You can hit what 4 or 5 shoots locations.
Yep.
I think 5. There's the one on 18 in Greenville when you get there, and then there's one down Main Street in Greenville, like 2 minutes away. That's 5. There's 5 right there. This is undeniable. This is science at this point. And then you go the other way. You go toward Middlesex and go toward Neshannock, and you got the Sheets out there, another 15 minutes away.
You're right. It's the Sheets Mecca.
Which is, I guess that's not 18. No, you can drive 18 all the way out there, actually.
Yeah.
So, man, I really hope all the viewers are from the same place we're from, or this is not playing to anyone else.
No.
Talking about Route 18 in Pennsylvania.
But folks, when you come to the show at the Sheets, you'll know exactly what we're talking about.
Oh yes, you'll know. This is part of the Mecca.
Yeah. So let me ask you one quick question here before we play the next song.
Yeah.
What we got about 9 minutes here. What's the thought process of coming up with a song? Are you usually thinking about a tune first? Are you thinking about lyrics? Or are you just jotting them down like at night, like your head hits the pillow and you're like, oh crap, I got to write this down.
I've got a lot of. I use the Notes app on my phone a lot. So I have a lot of full songs written there. I have a lot of like just lines thrown out. Writing a full song sort of depends on, I don't know, sometimes it comes all at once and it's hard to describe. I've had songs that I've written within 10 minutes in the shower and I've rushed out and like played them into my phone so I don't forget them. There's some of them I work really hard at. There's a couple that I've been writing for almost a year. There's a couple I've been recording for a couple years, but I guess that's not the writing part. That's just about getting the sound right. The writing, it depends. Sometimes a phrase sticks in your mind. I put out a song a couple years ago called Dead Man Walkin' that I wrote just because I walked into work, thought I was going to get in trouble, and as I opened the door, I said, Dead Man Walkin' to myself, and I was like, that could be a country song. So on my lunch break, I ate my lunch really fast, and the rest of the lunch break, I wrote that song and went home and recorded it. Or, you know, sometimes it's a phrase. Sometimes it's you're going through something and you want to work it out, which I know we're short on time. Does this still cut off at like an hour hard?
Yeah, 8 minutes. We got 8 minutes.
All right. I can do 2 very fast if we go through them.
Let's do it.
And these are both that are going through experiences. This one I just wrote last week because I went through a very long, drawn-out process of getting dumped. So I wanted to write a song, a love song. She hasn't heard it, so maybe it'll work, but I doubt it. So here's a nice little song. I wasn't born a ramble man. Life made me this way. Find a girl who catch my eye. And both after a couple of days and I just keep on moving. Distant faces in my mind. I never thought I'd find myself wanting to be the staying kind. When you came into my life, a voice so sweet and clear, and all at once it hit me, I had everything I wanted here, and I unpacked my bags, figured I'd stay for a while. We tell each other secrets, make each other smile. Well, I don't want to go wandering no more. I just want to spend my nights with you behind closed doors. I don't want to go wandering no more. I just want to slow it down and I just want to be all yours. If you say you want to stay and give our love a try, promise to be there for you. Will not make you cry. Do anything you want. I'll get you the moon, I'll get you the stars. All I know is I'll gladly stay wherever in the world you are. Well, I don't want to go wandering no more. I just want to spend my night with you Behind closed doors, I don't wanna go wandering no more. I just wanna slow it down, and I just wanna be all yours. That's a brand new one.
Love it. And we got probably about 4.5 minutes.
All right, we can power through the speed round for this last song.
Hit it.
Do you have another question you want to ask before we speed through this?
Just hit it.
All right. I wrote this song. It's named after Tiger Warsaw, Patrick Swayze movie, takes place in Sharon, Pennsylvania. I had a little bit of an emotional breakdown about not being able to go home during a pandemic. So I wrote this instead of talking through my feelings with anybody. Tough time getting up in the morning, can't fall asleep at night. All I hear is static in my dreams. Headed down a road to nowhere, with the dog behind the wheel. I don't know what that even means. And I'm staring at these curtains all day long. And I feel alright, but everything's all wrong. I'm walking a hole in my floor, staying in behind locked doors, watching Tiger Warsaw, 'cause I can't go home. Wanna feel the breeze on my face, not just in my eyes. Remember what it's like to live carefree. Hanging out in a crowded bar, being out on a packed dance floor, wondering if you even notice me. But these days I don't look no one in the eye. And if someone's coming, I cross to the other side. I don't keep any company. Now all I got is me. Call me Tiger Warsaw, 'cause I'm all alone. Maybe soon I'll get out of this thinking. Well, maybe soon I'll go and see my friend. Maybe soon we'll all go out for drinking. Maybe soon you can call me by my name again. What's the good in asking questions when the answer's never good? I'm just gonna live inside my head. I got ghosts of everyone in there, but old pictures start to fade, and a sweater's weakness is its thread. So I try to keep them living in my mind, at least the ones that ain't left me behind. 'Cause this life can't always last, it's just a hurdle that you gotta pass. Even Tiger Warsaw got to go back home. Even Tiger Warsaw got to go back home.
Bravo, my friend. Folks, that is Nick Miller coming to you from Brooklyn, New York, originally from Sharon, Pennsylvania. I'm calling it, Nick, we are eventually going to do a live show in the Shenango Valley at some point. We got to make that happen, brother.
I'm all for it. You got me on board.
Whether that's at Sheets or wherever that's at, we're going to make it happen.
Yeah.
All right, folks, thank you for tuning into the Zip Code. Thank you to Nick Miller for blessing us with some awesome, chill, relaxed music. Check him out on you can check him out on Spotify. You can check him out on Bandcamp. Check him out on Bandcamp. That way you can actually get paid for a couple of the songs, and some of them goes to charity as well. Thank you for tuning in. Stay off your cell phones. Go talk to your neighbor. Love on people. Enjoy life. Nick, thank you, everyone.
Hey.
Shenango Valley, love you.
Thanks for having me.
You got it. We'll talk soon.
All right, you got it.